Hello, I'm your host, Collin Kerouac. Welcome to the Raven Report, STHS's official school podcast by students for students. Today, I'm joined by a special guest, Enrique, a Sci-Tech alumni who's back to catch up with us. Welcome back, Enrique.
How you doing, Colin? It's good to be back.
Good. How have you been?
Been pretty good.
So what have you been up to recently?
As of recent, I'm a recent graduate of Universal Technical Institute of Austin, Texas, and I'm now currently a level 2 technician at Nissan City Limits.
Ooh, that sounds exciting. Tell us a little bit about it.
I do day-to-day fixes. I'm the one that fixes your car. I'm the one that looks at it and tells you what's wrong with it, gives you a video, and shows you exactly what's wrong with it.
So you decided to go the trade route.
I did.
Why did you decide to go the trade route instead of the college route?
I went for the trade route because I was never really the best in school. School is very difficult for me, especially during high school. I had difficulty paying attention and retaining information. You could say that I took the trade route as the only option. Some people could say that, and some people could say that I had already had it thought up in my mind.
Yeah, I can understand. School's not for everybody. I'm kind of honestly thinking of not going to university either. I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna do yet, but I can understand that. I mean, honestly, as a senior, I feel the drag. What's your like best memory of the school?
Best memory of this school? Well, I can definitely say after being at a high school graduate for over a year now, I believe. Oh, my voice cracked. Uh, say my best memory here, honestly, even though I wasn't the best in school, just being here was a nice experience. Having the opportunity to go through high school, obviously, a bunch of kids unfortunately don't have the opportunity to have a great education or even to start an education at that point. So even being here, the memories that I have with friends, below teachers and things like that, I would say just the entire experience in itself was pretty amazing to me. Looking back at it now,
Have you kept up with those friends?
some yes, most no. Most people that after high school, they really go on to do their own thing, and you really don't ever speak to them again.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I hope to be able to retain some of my friends after high school. Who are some of the friends you keep up with?
Some of the people I keep up with was Caesar Zamora, a fellow classmate of mine, and I have also, I've kept up with a couple more as well. I'm a little bit hard of thinking right now, so I can't come up with them immediately, but Caesar for the most part. And Josh Patrick, yeah, that one just came up to my head.
Oh yeah, Josh. I remember him. I saw him actually. Last time I saw him was um during track last year. He was like one of our assistant coaches or whatever. Did you get to say hi to Miss Decker? She was eager to see you.
I say hi to Miss Decker any opportunity that I can, and I can definitely say after this interview, I'll go say hi to her. And Miss Jorgensen, if she's still here.
Yeah, Miss Jorgensen's still here. She's actually my homeroom teacher.
Nice.
All right, Ravens, let's get into it. Today's episode is all about life after STHS. Enrique graduated from our very own Sci-Tech and has been navigating college, career decisions, and everything in between. We're diving into his journey at ACC, what he's learned, and what advice he has for current students thinking about their next steps. So tell us, how was the transition from high school to college at UTI?
The transition was, I could say, the process is definitely rough. With FAFSA, FAFSA is very, if you do choose the FAFSA route, may I add, FAFSA is very demanding with information. They ask you for quite literally everything that they want to know about you just so they can get an idea of how they can help you out, things like that. So the transition's a little bit scary because FAFSA is your first obstacle of, I would say, an adult real life obstacle because they ask a lot of you.
Yeah, I know. I just finished my FAFSA a couple weeks ago, and I was like, dude, why are they asking me for so much? Like I don't feel exactly comfortable giving all this information out. And honestly, do you think it should be a graduation requirement?
I do. I believe even if students aren't going to take the college route and do take the trade route like me, or if they're not even going to go to trade school or said college, it still should be a graduate requirement because it does give kids that are about to be thrown into the real world a chance of seeing what a little taste of a real world is like.
Why do you think it should be a graduation requirement?
Like I just mentioned, I think it should be a graduate requirement just so everyone can experience what things they could possibly deal with out in the real world. It definitely prepares them whether or not they're going to take that route.
I mean, I don't know. I personally I feel like maybe, but at the same time, like if you know 100% certain you're not gonna go to college, like, why fill out the FAFSA? Because it's not it's not gonna help you if you don't want to go to college.
Well, a good example of that could be even if you don't go to college, things like that. FAFSA does ask you, like you had mentioned, that you want to know a lot of things, information about you. Regardless if you take the college route or not, you're going to have to deal with that because of the IRS.
I
That is somebody that you can't run from. So regardless or not, if you want to fill that information out, you're going to answer questions like that. It just comes with it.
that's a good point about the IRS. They will hunt you down for your taxes. They want your money. What has surprised you most about life after graduation?
Um, the freedom. The freedom, I would say. After graduation, it's really just up to you. If you want to take you take your own route, stuff like that. You can do whatever you want. Nobody can really say anything about it.
Do you do you think that freedom has been beneficial to you, or it hindered you in some way maybe?
I believe it's been beneficial to me because it's given me, well, for one, a lot of time to think, and so with that think came a lot of the growth for me. So for me, it's been very beneficial for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting cuz like then you get into the debate of like whether like you're being allowed too much freedom cuz some people like are much better with a rigid structure. Some people are not. I feel like I'm with you that more freedom is better. I do not like I do not like being controlled, and I'm actually eager to get out of the real world. So, um, how do you think STHS has prepared you or not prepared you for that?
I think STHS has prepared me with, well, for one, with all that freedom came a lot, I think, a lot of growth. But every adult has a schedule, whether or not you are your own boss or you're working under somebody else. You will be under someone else's schedule or your own schedule, but everything has to be built up. So you have things to do every day, things that are set to do every day, what you're going to do every day that's different. I think STHS or high school as a whole prepares you for that because it's a set schedule, you know? You come to school Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You have A days or B days. You know, you could transfer that to having to do, I don't know, say you're going to go to the gym one day and then the next day you're going to rest. It could be correlated like that, as well as classes that are offered here. For example, in my opinion, I think Miss Jorgensen's class is the best class that STHS offers, financial math to prepare you for the real world, because credit kind of runs everything out there.
Yeah, I definitely think knowing your finances, being financially literate, I think more schools should honestly offer that class, and I'm actually fortunate we do. Unfortunately, I didn't get the only thing I got to take financially related there was it Money Matters. Um, but other than that, what other classes at this school have you thought have helped you prepare for the real world pretty well?
Well, if I have to be honest with you, personally for me, senior year, I did end up taking on financial math and money matters at the same time. Both of those classes were the best sources of me to find out what I was dealing with outside in the real world, and that's, if I can tell you, that's really the only two that really did help me.
Yeah, I can understand that. I think what might help me in the real world also would be those financial classes. I also think math potentially, because like finances deals with a lot of math, and knowing some tricks would can help you speed that process up. We finally have a pre-calculus class, so I think that's good. I think learning some of that will be beneficial. because like some of those equations you have to learn, like power, quadratic, and stuff, can actually be used to like predict finances and help you with your finances and stuff.
Yes, there are very specific instances for them for what you're mentioning. Like if you're going to become an engineer of some sort, they do use mathematical equations in that form. But other than that, for day-to-day life, which we use financial math, I believe covers everything that you need.
Yeah, that's that's honestly a pretty valid opinion. I would mostly agree with that, unless you're going into a mathematics field.
Yeah.
Speaking of fields, you told us your field was what again?
I chose the automotive field.
Why did you choose it?
I've always loved cars growing up as a kid, and getting older, my love for them had only strengthened. Always seeing cool cars in the streets, stuff like that. So loud cars in the streets, I've always been intrigued by that sort of thing. So it automatically just really, really drew a tight connection to me for the automotive field.
Yeah, one of the parents' moms here, she always drives a like a an old nice red Thunderbird, and it's really cool. It's like in really good condition too.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm friends with the guy whose mom that is. It's really awesome. Like I hope you get to see it sometime. Um, what would you say your favorite car is?
My favorite car,
Like your favorite, yeah, favorite type.
favorite type, favorite car. That's a great question. Uh, at the top of my head, I would say I really, really enjoy the Camaro Z01s. And I also very much enjoy the BMW M series. For the example, the M2s, the M3s, etc. At the top of my head, those two are my most beloved and that I enjoy very much.
How come? What appeals? What is so appealing about them?
The Z01, I can say the most appealing thing about that is the power, the aggressiveness, the look of the car. It's very mean and looks very, very aggressive. Having a V8 engine that is supercharged with 650 horsepower in the engine. Interior wise, pretty moderate, but it's the roar of the car that intrigues me about the Camaro Z01s. And speaking of the BMWs, the M2s, for example, the tech, very futuristic looking, but very modern. Very beautiful tech in those vehicles.
How nice. Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of more of a simple guy, but I can understand the appeal of like a power car or like a sports car. Honestly, I think I'd maybe like to own the sports car. Although there's like a point to like where engines for me like get obnoxious instead of like nice sounding.
Yes, that's true. Well,
You feel that same sentiment?
I absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of getting at. So how have you balanced your life like with school and work and stuff like that?
I can say during school, I was definitely struggling. I was balancing work and school while I was taking classes at Universal Technical Institute. I was waking up at 5 in the morning, going to school, a 40-minute drive away, and then I was getting to class at about 6:15. Class would start at 6:15 and end at 9:15, and immediately afterwards, I'd drive another 40 minutes back to work, and I'd be at work from about 10 to 6 o'clock. So a very long, stressful days, if you will, especially fitting in homework during that time period.
Yeah,
So
that sounds very stressful. I mean, I can understand that trying to balance a couple things. It's not work for me. For me, it's sports, college stuff, and normal schoolwork, you know.
exactly.
For you, it was like college, it was like the UTI and doing an actual job.
Yes.
What job were you doing while you were training to be a technician?
While I was in Universal Technical Institute, I was also working at City Limits Nissan, but I was only a basic loop tech during that time period. But whether or not a basic loop tech or not, very, very stressful schedule.
Yeah. What would you say your biggest challenges were?
Staying motivated. Staying motivated. Every week that went by is just, I was glad every time a week was over and I could just enjoy my 1 to 2 rest days and just do nothing. I was so gassed that I just do nothing and be happy with it. Um, it was very hard for me. But I mean, some people, you gotta think about it. Some people do it by choice, and some people are forced to do a schedule like that. So in my position, I was doing it out of choice. So it kept me going, for one, to know that I wasn't doing this out of force because I had to.
Right. Yeah, my mom is actually kind of one of those people who did it more by choice. Like my mom's a postal worker, and I mean, that's not necessarily what she thought she would end up doing for her life. Like she went to the University of Cincinnati to get a degree in like science or whatever. But since like the post office, requires very little college training and it pays pretty well, she ended up doing that and has just been there for like almost 30 years at this point, and it puts the food on the table for our family and provides us a few benefits that others don't get, but
Yeah.
like a lot of traveling. But yeah, I'm thankful for her, honestly. Yeah. How did you overcome those challenges, that challenge to stay motivated? Like how did you stay motivated?
Knowing that it was all going to be okay in the end and work out in the end. And controversially enough, a trauma.
Trauma?
Yes.
Do you want to get into that or no?
During my senior year of high school, I lost somebody very dear to me, and it basically shut me down for the entirety of the rest of my senior year, and it kept me very demotivated, and I was very not much in a healthy place whatsoever. Coming out of high school, that hurt, that loss, and the loneliness that I felt, I used it as energy to motivate myself to keep going, to tell me that no matter what, this person would always want me to succeed and wouldn't want me to fail because of the tragedy that I felt that they weren't here anymore. So I use it as fuel, and I continue to use it as fuel to this day, and it helps. I'm happy, and I'm in a good spot. I'm healthy. I'm alive. I wake up every day. That's pretty much all I can ask for. And then other than that, just knowing that I didn't want to be old, maybe in my 60s, 40s, or 60s, 70s, or retired even. I didn't want to be old and knowing that I did nothing with my life.
Yeah, I can understand that, and my condolences for your loss.
Thank you.
I know how that feels to lose somebody. Like I lost my grandma when I was like 10 years old, and she and I were really close, like I loved her. I still, think about her sometimes.
Yeah,
And I'm sure that person would be proud to where you've gotten yourself to at this point.
I hope so.
Speaking of success, what would you say your biggest successes so far have been?
I think my biggest successes so far have been, well, for one, being a level two technician at City Limits Nissan. That promotion felt really, really good. Felt like a lot of my hard work had paid off.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. That, and also graduating from UTI, from a trade college. A lot of people don't get to graduate or don't graduate or drop out, things, etc. Life happens. But I also consider it one of my accomplishments.
Yeah, that sounds very good for you. Yeah, and I can understand why people would drop out of a trade school. I understand that can be pretty difficult at times. What would be like some advice you would give to someone if they wanted to go into a trade, or specifically maybe more like repair of like robots or cars?
I would definitely say do your research. Every trade is different. Uh, the every trade also shares similarities. Well, for one, like being physically demanding, it's not for everyone. So I would definitely say do your research about what kind of trade you want to get into, whether that be plumbing, being an electrician, aviation, or automotive, things like that. Please do your research, but automatically know that about whatever trade that you get into, 90% of them will be very physically demanding.
Yeah, I've seen what some of the trades, the people who work in trade have to deal with. Like, is construction considered a trade?
Very much so.
Yeah, I've seen what construction workers have to deal with. Like, oh my goodness, like I can't believe that. I can't believe some of the stuff they have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have you seen the video where it's like the unbendable, like bar or whatever it is.
I have.
Yeah, like the bodybuilders couldn't do it, but
Yes.
the construction workers could do it very easily. That's very impressive. That just shows how physically demanding construction is.
Yeah, most of those guys, they're extremely strong, but when you take a first glance at someone, you really don't know how strong they can be.
Right, exactly. So what's next? What's next for you? What's going on with your near future, or what you think is going on with your near future?
I think that for me, what's next is, well, I'd hope to continue working at Nissan and completing the manufacturer offered classes that they offer and becoming a master certified technician at City Limits Nissan. Either that or hopefully somewhere else. But regardless whether or not I continue working for Nissan or I move to another a brand or an independent shop, something like that, I hope that regardless I do end up master certified for someone.
So your plan is to continue like rising the ranks?
Yes.
Makes sense. We all want to rise the ranks and make more money. Would you have any advice? Do you have any advice for current Sci-Tech High School students?
For current Sci-Tech High School students, I would say for one, do your FAFSA. And for two, I understand that graduating can be scary, and a lot of students, high schoolers nowadays, don't know at all what they're going to do with their life. My advice would be to find something you enjoy to do, regardless of what it is, even if it's a hobby. Try to make something of it, because there's careers for everything out there, even the people that build the chairs that we're sitting on. So regardless of what you like to do, try to make a career out of it and heavily do research on whatever you want to do and believe in yourself and push yourself. Because if you don't push yourself, you will never know how far you could have gotten.
That's some good advice there. I mean, yeah. I mean, as somebody who just wants to live a comfortable, happy life, that speaks volumes to me, man. Is there anything else you like wish you knew as a high schooler, that you'd like to say to current high schoolers?
Um, if there's something else that I wish I knew how lonely high school could feel afterwards.
Preach.
Like I had mentioned in the beginning, you do lose contact with a lot of people or lose people as well. There is a very lonely feeling that comes with graduating and being out in the world for some time. I wish I knew about that so I could prepare myself for it.
Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, I'm not even graduated yet, but I'm just so busy that it kind of feels like I'm already graduated. I can't really hang out with my friends that much anymore. Um, yeah, I've definitely been feeling more isolated recently. I understand how that feels very much. Do you have any advice on how to deal with it?
Dealing with it now, I would say what I have been doing is just using that time and just trying to, well, for one, spend time with family first. A second, spend time rising the ranks of whatever you're doing or getting better at whatever you're doing. Use the time and don't lay out wasted time because we only get so much of it. Use it and make the best of it.
Thank you. That's good. I like that advice. Well, that's all we have for today, Ravens. Huge thanks to Enrique for coming back and sharing his journey with us. It's always inspiring to hear from our alumni and see where life takes them after STHS. And I wanna thank you, Enrique, for the advice you've been giving for this. That's been helpful to me because I've been struggling with some of the same things. And thanks for listening, Ravens. As always, I'm Collin Kerouac, and stay curious, Ravens.